The completed square form is a way of writing a quadratic expression. So if we had x squared plus 2x plus 3, it's another way of writing that expression. So we want x plus a number, all squared, plus another number. So e and f are numbers. Now there are two methods of doing this. The first is to use force, to think logically. So this is the format we want to get this equation into. Let's expand this one out and compare with what we've already got. So this squared here means write the bracket out twice. So I can do that first. X plus e multiplied by x plus e, and then we've got a plus f on the end. So x squared plus 2ex plus e squared plus f is equal to x squared plus 2x plus e plus 3. So our x squareds match, so that's good. Now there's one term here which has an x, so we should compare the coefficient, which is the number in front of it, with this coefficient here. So 2e is equal to 2, so e must be equal to 1. Now we have, just looking at the last term, e squared plus f is 3. Now we already know from this one that e is 1, so we've got 1 plus f is 3, so f must be 2. So our completed square form is x plus 1 all squared plus 2. Now this is quite useful, but it does rely on you remembering this step here and then being able to compare the coefficients, and we've ended up with some nice equations here, but you might not. And is to use a formula. So when the quadratic equation is in the form x squared plus bx plus c, where b and c are numbers, they're coefficients, we can just remember this. X plus a half of b, all squared, minus, and always minus, half b squared plus c. So in this case, b is 2 and c is 3. So I'm going to do x plus a half of b, which is 1, all squared, minus a half of b, which is 1 squared, so minus 1 plus 3. And we can tidy that up, x plus 1 squared plus 2. So as you can see, this is quite a lot less writing, but it does require you to remember this formula, which I guess if you do it enough times you probably will start to, and also to be able to pick b and c correctly here and here. But once you've done that and you've remembered your minus sign here, it's actually quite nice, quite quick. But this is the completed square form, and those are the two methods that you can use to get it into that form. In the last examples, the coefficient in front of x squared, so the number in front of x squared, was always a 1. In this example we've got a 2 there, and for the completed square that's a problem, because we can only put it into the completed square, which is this again, if we haven't got that coefficient, because how do we fit that coefficient in here? So what we need to do is we need to factor out that coefficient first. Now luckily all of these numbers here, all these coefficients, are divisible by 2, so we can put 2 outside of a large bracket and then divide everything by 2 inside the bracket, and we've ended up with the same problem we had before. So now we can write this in the completed square form, and I would use square brackets for that because we've got the small brackets on the inside. The final thing we have to consider is what we do when we're asked to solve an equation by putting a quadratic into the completed square form. So this is the same expression that we've been using the whole time, except now it's equal to 6. So the first thing we can do is put that into the completed square form, which we've done a couple of times now. But this time, of course, it's equal to 6. Now we need to unlock x. We need to get to x and find out what x is. That's what solving an equation is. So the first thing I can do to kind of unwrap x is to remove that 2. So I'm going to take 2 off each side and I'm left with 4 there. Now the next thing that's been done to x and I need to undo is this square. So I could square root both sides. So that's going to leave me with x plus 1 on that side. And then I'm going to get plus or minus the square root of 4 here. And the reason I've put the plus or minus in is because minus 2 times minus 2 is 4, but so is 2 times 2. And we don't know which one it is, so we put both options in with a plus or a minus. That also then gives us the 2 solutions we would expect with a quadratic. So either x plus 1 is 2, or x plus 1 is minus 2. So x is 1, or x is minus 3. So we have solved where that quadratic, x squared plus 2x plus 3 is equal to 6 using the completed square method.